Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Peretz Chaim Levine and 6-year-old grandson Shlomo Tzvi Bassman at American Dream Mall in New Jersey. Look at that. Taking advantage of his time off on this turnkey holiday weekend to recruit new daffers, Yishkoyach. And then somebody did this. I guess they found him over there, and check this out. I got it. No, so the picture on the left is the real one.
I thought it was real.
No, but I'm saying they're not both AI. One of them is, they took it, okay. Daily Daffers, Tzvi and Meir Donner, 15 and 13-year-old, steiging on the flight back from England to New York. He has a pencil in hand, steiging away. What else do we have? Rabbi Isai, an amazing message, one of my favorite of all time. By the way, clear on the top right corner is a jewelry place. So, if you don't understand the message, I'll explain it to you after. Here we go.
Hello, Rabbi Isai. My name is Hillel Kamyansky. Some of you may know me as Mr. Machlekes. But what I want to share with you today is something I believe we can all agree on, and that is our collective support for MDY. There are many meaningful ways to contribute: the daily sponsorship, Masechta sponsorship, the Kola support, and of course, the recurring monthly commitments. But as we approach the taxable year end, I'd like to highlight one avenue in particular, and that is corporate sponsorships. Business owners and decision makers, hear me out. As a business owner, my team and I spend a ton of time during this season guiding clients on maximizing their deductions. If you know you have a sizable expense coming up, paying them before the taxable year end can be an effective way to reduce your tax liability. I'm not here to give you tax advice. You should always speak to your accountant, but I am here to point out an opportunity that aligns financial benefit with a spiritual return. A corporate sponsorship with MDY gives your company visibility on the MDY website, on the daily shirim, and of course on the Shabbaton banner itself. With over 30,000 YouTube followers and thousands of daily views, this is an exceptional exposure opportunity. It's a chance to support a cause that we all cherish, while also creating a legitimate business expense that benefits your bottom line and grows your spiritual currency, as Ravelli says. Let's take advantage of this opportunity and put our advertising dollars to meaningful use. By doing so, we're supporting an incredible organization that impacts thousands. Rabbi Isai, thank you and have a great day.
Shkoyach. I think what he's trying to say is, Avi, at the end of the year, if you give a corporate sponsorship, it's like dollar for dollar. He didn't want to say, doesn't want to get sued or anything, but has a lot of tax benefits. It's very tax effective at the end of the year.
Tax effective the whole year, but no one does the whole year, so you chop right at the end of the year.
Nobody does the whole year. Chop right at the end of the year, and you can chop right in a free room. Every $10,000 corporate sponsorship, get a free room. I think we do have. I thought we had a brand new one today. I don't see it in my slides. There is a new corporate sponsor, at least one that I saw last night. I know you didn't put it in. Okay, Yishkoyach Hill for putting together that video. Very, very nice, very effective. Today, basically, we're going to be sold out. If we're not sold out already, we only had a couple of rooms left on the 10th floor. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. It was only open for a few days, and we have, I think, I don't know how many more rooms than we have than last year. 480. 400 rooms. Now, they put aside some rooms for the corporate sponsors if there's any more or any last-minute emergencies, but basically we're sold out. To remind the Olam, now is the time if you want to get that unbelievable deal from Art School. I brought this is a gift I got, one of the best gifts I got from Aaron Hirsch from Lakewood. This is what it looks like. You turn it on, and you go. You can do this if you want. You can learn from this. And what's good about this, you can zoom it in. Yeah? What's going on there? It's backwards. Okay. So then I have the entire Shas at my fingertips. Anybody has. If you don't understand Pshat, you just go and you click on this little thing right over there. It turns into English. If you want, it turns into Hebrew. Then you have the 9 9 million links. So right over here it says Rashi, let's say. So you click over there, and it brings up the Rashi. You have the Yerushalmi. Now people think that I'm pushing this because I'm a partner with Ariel. I want people to get Torah at their fingertips. Now somebody sent me an email. Maybe I'll read it.
It's live. I did it this morning.
It was live, I think, already yesterday. Yeah.
Live yesterday.
It's live.
Download directly to your device.
And you can do it anywhere.
The emotional part of me scarily reacted negatively when Rebelli said that taking out a smartphone and learning from the Art Scroll app in Shul is better than wasting a few minutes. I beg to differ. I know that Talmud Torah is connected to Kulam, but I suspect that Rebbe would agree that thinking in Torah is a better option than one might perhaps lead to Marasayim problem. I suspect that bringing one smartphone to the base measures is not what Rabbi Shmuel meant. Your Talmud says Kuta Chabavli Sugi Nedarim, Yossi Robbins, Cleveland, Ohio. I hear? I was debating that. And Marasayim. So what if you go like this? I don't know. Seder. I hear the Marasayim problem. I'm talking about not during Chazar Shat. I'm talking about when you're waiting for the Chazan, when you're waiting in Shul for a minyan. It happened to me I was in a shtibel one night, and they were waiting to start. So you learn for 2 minutes. I don't know anything by heart. So what is somebody like me supposed to do? I had a trick. I had a Chazara program that I was doing when I was in Pnei Shmuel. So then I used to do Baal Peh during Chazar Shat. I did a learning during Chazar, like not show people that I'm learning from a sefer because it's during Chazar Shat, but
you could slip and put it on this thing, and you hit a learning.
One last one. Person is trying to get people to do Shnai Mikro, and he did a lot of research into apps, and he has no vested interest in any app, but found one that's extremely versatile for the most finicky. Best features that it has variable auto scrolling, plus many, many more features. Auto scrolls. I didn't chap. It goes up and down. So, It's made for both Apple and Android. Attached are 2 links. However, this app will help many begin this beautiful mitzvah. The name of the app is 2 Mikra, 1 Targum. Fiscal mitzvah, label, Tenenbaum. The Masechta is sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated in memory of Avi Mori, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doi Zuchron Levracha. Masechta sponsors. Anonymous. Nishmas Doidi Shlomi Yehuda Zuchron Levracha Shmuel Chayim Asher Shokav V'Lom Kachim Kol Chayav. Anonymous. Zech Nishmas Nochem Tzvi Ben David. Sponsored by Skyrim Capital in honor of our friends Meir Kovacs, Taki, and Shabshi Shlavrak for their devotion to Torah study in this year. Joel Gedalius, Lilu Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, Anonymous, Atzlocha Baruchim Subagashmius, Tzvi Jacobs, monthly sponsors. For Refuah Shlema for Bracha Bat Chana, Anonymous, please down for Refuah Shlema for the world's best dad, Aaron Ben Chai Sarah. Anonymous, Bracha Adli Dai, Baruch Tzvi Nisim and Shoshana Leah, Yehuda Ben Yomi Ben Chava. Weekly sponsors, Ari Simon, Refuah Shlema, Avi Moiri, Baruch Ben Miriam, Refuah Shlema. David Green for Refuah Shlema for Chana Rivka Bat Yosefa. Anonymous in memory of the Bas Ayin, Ram Doiv, Ben Reb David Eschus for donor and family. At one of the satellite locations, they had a whole Suda for the Messiah, and I didn't know about it. And somebody asked me last night. Somebody said, "Are you doing this in all your satellite locations?" No. Rabbi Yaakov Bleich, in honor of the wedding of my son Yochanan tonight, Emir Hashem, may Hashem help him build a Bayis Nema B'Yisrael. May. Danny Kilari, in celebration of my daughter Ayelet's marriage tonight to Chaim Shapiro. Thank you, Hashem. Big part of the shir. I haven't seen him in a while, but he. That was last night. Cool. Ben Presser, Lila Nishmas, my wife's little brother, Rafal Chaim Simcha Ben Yamin Ben Shlomo Mordechai. Your side is today. The neshama should have an aliyah. And the Wayard, before Shlomo Yonatan Eitan Ben Beshav Bracha, before Shlomo Mordechai Ben Esther, before Sayela Daniel Zeb Ben Ayelet Esther. We have 2 seats in the front here. If you want to come all the way in the front, the guests, Shalom Aleichem, came just in time. We're holding by the Mishnah Daf Ayin Zayin Amud Beis. Brand new Mishnah, Rabbi Yisai. Eivarim be'eivarim balibumim. We had this. We spoke about it. If there's a mix-up between an oila, right? Put it, your pencil. We're talking about an oila over here. You have the limbs of an oila, with the limbs of another oila that are a mum. If you put on top of the mizbeach one head, you went against the rules, you did it. You didn't ask, you didn't know the halacha, you put it on. We're going to assume that the one that's on the mizbeach is the balmum. And therefore, you're allowed to continue bringing all the other heads. What if you put all the 4 legs of one animal on top of the mizbeach? Yikrivu kol hakarayim. All the legs that you have over there, all the oila legs, you're allowed to put onto the mizbeach. Let me ask you a question. What if you don't put all 4 legs on the mizbeach? You only put 3 out of the 4 on the mizbeach. Then what's the halacha? It says karayim. You're supposed to put all 4 legs of one. If all 4 legs of one went on, like the head, put one head on. I could put all the heads on. I put all the legs on. I put the legs of one on, all 4. I could put the legs of all the animals over there. So I'll tell you another ma'isa. To answer this question, I'll tell you a gewaldige ma'isa. There was a rav who somebody came to him with a shayla. Came with a bowl of chicken legs. You remember the days that they used to sell chicken legs? Anybody's grandmother put a chicken leg in the soup?
I mean feet.
The feet, that's what I mean. That's okay, the feet. You know those not so, yes. The feet.
With the nails.
With the nails, with the dirty nails, the dirt underneath the nails, yes. Gal is made from that. Bones. No.
All right. Anyways, yeah, go on.
Comes to the Rav, he says, had a bowl of, let's say, 10 chicken feet. And one treif foot fell into the whole bowl. What should he do? So he asks his Talmidim. People love the stuff. People used to be very makbid to put it in their soups. And then the best was when it was in the chont. You ever pull one of those out of shma.
Not chicken nuts. Feet.
So listen to this. Could anybody here come up with a chap? He asks his Talmidim what the halacha is. He says, there's a chap here. You know the answer? Okay. Here, let me show you the answer. I'll show you the answer. It's a geschmack answer. That's how they look.
החמישה האלו קשרים.
Because there's right and left feet. 1 foot fell in, so see which one it is. You put them, make sure you have pairs. Everything matches up. You have 1 extra. The 1 extra is either a right or a left. So whatever it is, if it's a right one, all the rights are treif because you don't know which one fell in. But if it's a left, all the lefts are treif. You don't have to treif the entire thing. So in Mela, that's what's going on over here also. If the person put all 4, the hind legs, the front legs, all 4, so all 4 of everybody else's legs are mutter. But he only put on 3, so whatever he put on 2 front, 1 hind, right hind. So 2 front hind are mutter, but the back left foot of all the animals would be aser. Yes? The Chacham oimrim, afilu karvu kulam chutz me'echad mehem, yetz lebeis hasreifa. Leiba is still in shock, it looks like.
I'm waiting for the rest of the video.
So you didn't get it. I saw something was not, computer stopped. There was a bug. Now we go weiter, Levi. That's also a bug. Afilu karvu kulam chutz me'echad mehem, yetz lebeis hasreifa. Oh. I must have skipped something. This trick that Rebbe Eliezer says that if 1 head went onto the mizbeach, we're going to assume that all heads are kosher. Why? Because the one that went on the mizbeach is the one that's treif. We're going to assume. We're making an assumption. We're going to go mamish lekula. The one that went on was treif.
going out on a limb.
Oh. The Chacham say, I feel it's not bad. No, it's not bad.
He's trying to get ahead, that's it.
Ari, these are my colleagues. I'm shopping nachas. I'm giving my kisses to them.
Now they're looking at
We're not holding. Everybody say, we're not holding. We're not holding. He said that Ariel is going on a limb. He says he's trying to get ahead. He says these are his talmidim. He gave him his kishkis. He said it defeats the purpose. Bekitzer, Givaldik. Givaldik. We have a bunch of pun people in the shir. But now we have a real lamdin that came all the way from. Where did you come from?
Leiba.
I knew it. I knew you're a lamdin. What's your name?
Pinchas Horowitz.
Pinchas Horowitz from Lakewood. Shkoyach, and that's your son. Wie heißt er? Nussen Horowitz. Wow, Shkoyach for coming. You came from Yerushalayim this morning? Ashdod. Very nice. David, everything's okay with Seder over there? Okay. Listen, we're in the middle of Shir. You're right. I was talking to a guest, but Shkoyach. Huh? Oh, we have more guests. These are not guests. They were here yesterday. He's not a guest. Next. You see, even I recognize it. Who? Eli. He's not a guest either. That's like, where's Waldo? Hold on, it's my. If I had that screen in front of me, I know exactly where the guests are. Where? Oh! Don't hide from me. What's your name, Tzadik? Go. It's one of these dapim. What's your name? Jason?
Jason Stein.
From where? Bergenfield. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Okay. Omar Rebbe Lazar. Lo yichshe Rebbe Eliezer shnayim. We had the sugi also. When Rebbe Eliezer said you put it on the mizbeach, we assume that it's the one that's treif, is because he's putting on 2 by 2, 2 at a time. Aval echad loy. Put one on by itself, not why? Because when you hold in your hand 2, says Rashi, then one of them is for sure kosher. And if one of them is for sure kosher, he says a vart like, then there's a migu that the other one is also kosher. I would have said, simpler, at least one of them is kosher. You look at each one, it could be the other one. No, that's not what he says. He says a little bit of a vart of a migu. Fine. Next. This is Daf Yomi. Don't let such things get in the way of Daf Yomi. All the way at the end of the mission it says that if you have one left, do not put it onto the mizbeach, say Chacham, because that's the one that's the bad one. You, Rebbe Eliezer, are going on a limb and you're saying that the first one was the bad one. We're going to say the last one is the bad one. So even if you put 10 on the mizbeach, the last one that's left, do not put on. It might be the bad one. And what does Rebbe Eliezer hold? That you're allowed to put the last one on, but it's not 2. You're only putting 1 and 1. Let's see over here what he did. Here, 2 heads. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Maybe it's not so accurate. That's the first one. That's how the Gemara understood. 1, you put 1 on, and the Gemara says no, it has to be 2 at a time.
First one was 1,
huh?
First one was 1.
The first one was 1, it's 1 rosh, but later on, as you put it on, each one has a. So this is not accurate. This is like the Havamin of the Gemara. So what do we do? Rebbe Eliezer over here seems to be saying they could put 1 at a time. What does 1 mean? Don't take it literally 1. Zug echad. It's 1. Yeah, it's 1. 1 pair, because we're talking about pairs. Zok the Mishnah. Dam shenisar b'mayim. You have blood. They got mixed in with water. You want to do the zrika. Stam is like interesting. I don't know how it works physically. It's an amazing thing that if a drop of blood falls into the ocean, a shark could smell it miles away. It's Metzias. 1 drop of blood, they say. Unbelievable. Through the thick water. Dam shenisar b'mayim, im yesh b'maris dam kosher. It goes by the look. So if you have blood that you're supposed to do hazah on the mizbeach with, and it looks like blood, even though that you mixed water into it, it's kosher. Even though you might have a majority of water, but it looks like good blood, nice thick red blood, kosher. Here's the whole sugi right here, this line, and it's an amazing thing. Nis'arif biyayin. What do you do if red blood mixes with red wine? Now, you can't look at it. You can't see. You could put 20 gallons of red wine into 1 gallon of blood. It'll still look like blood. How are you going to see? They have the same color. They're both red. So says the Mishnah one word here, and that's the word of the sugya. Royin oisoi kilu humayin. Royin. Royin means we pretend. We pretend that the wine is water. And if you put 10 gallons of water into 1 gallon of blood, it will dilute the blood, and it'll be no good for hazah. So we're going to pretend that the 10 gallons of wine is actually 10 gallons of water. If you put 1 gallon of water with 1 gallon of blood, you won't be able to differentiate. So if you put 1 gallon of red wine together with 1 gallon of blood, it's okay. We have to do a rayin. We have to go take this object because it's so similar. That's the whole sugya. If two objects that are very similar, red wine and red blood, we're going to take the red wine and pretend it's something else, not red wine. What would happen if this was something completely different? If this was a different liquid? In general, a different liquid, it goes by what it looks like, and there's a certain amount. So we're gonna see what that is with water, and then we're gonna do the same thing with wine. What about nisari b'dam behemo b'dam achaya? You take blood that's not appropriate for the mizbech at this point. You have a behema from the shlachtais. You took blood from outside the mizbech, outside of the, well, it wasn't a carbon, chulin, not chutz, chulin. Or you have blood of a deer, which never, and it's not a thing. You don't have deer in the Beis Hamikdash, only in this case because maybe this is what happened according to the artist. You have to have a good imagination.
Vemeli, is that you? I watch the Daf Yomi lesson every day. Wait here, please. I have a gift for you.
You want to know how blood of a chai got to the Beis Hamikdash? This is a perfect reason. Yeah, this also. Now you already had behema blood in there. Now you know how there's blood of a chaya, the Beis Hamikdash. Something like that happened. Possible. So what do? Now you have blood of a chaya mixed in with the blood of a behema. Leiba, what happened to your computer? You need to take a break? Oh wow. Royin oisoi ki'ilu humayim. You pretend, once again, you have red chaya blood, red behema blood, got mixed in. So let's see how much chaya blood. Let's pretend that the chaya blood is water. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer, ein dam mevatel dam. There's a few halachas today that are just gonna, they're gonna amaze you actually. This is one of them. Says Rabbi Yehuda, if you have 25 gallons of chaya blood, venison blood, and 1 drop, you hear this? Rabbi say 1 drop of kosher blood, and that 1 drop is in the kli with the 25 gallons of chaya blood, you could do zrika with it.
Why is it chulun bazar?
1 dam, who says it is? Who says it isn't? Who says chulun bazar is the problem? We're talking about chulun bazar is that your issa to bring chulun tazara. Over here we're talking about blood mixed with blood that you cannot be mevatel min b'minoi. It's the same thing. They're both bloods. and you can't be mevatel one. So it's mutter for you to do the mitzvah of azah on the mizbech with that kind of ratio, 1,000,000 to 1. 1 drop of blood with 1,000,000 chaya blood, you can do the zrika. Nisari b'dam psulim. What if the blood is not that of a chaya, but that of something puzzle, such as blood of pigel? What's pigel again? I'm not going to show you the video. What?
He says right there,
Really?
yeah. Absolutely says right there.
It could be anything. What's the difference? Not even psul. You're looking at the same Gemara. Right. Okay. Pigel. Pigel happens with a machshava during one of the 4 actions of shchita, kabbalah, halacha, or zrika. 1 out of the 4. It doesn't have to be all 4. During the kabbalah, he's thinking to himself, either that he's going to eat this animal outside the allotted time in 3-4 days from now, or he's thinking that he's going to do the zrika outside the allotted time. That's 2 ways to do zrika, to do pigel. So the blood becomes puzzle. And it's mixed in with kosher blood. Non-kosher and kosher blood mixed together. What do? Yishapech la'ama. Yishapech la'ama. Where's the ama? Here we go. This is the ama. You pour it into like the drain system of the Beis Hamikdash. Now, does Rabbi Yehuda argue on this? Rabbi Yehuda says dam is not mevatel dam. What do you say? L'chayra, you would say it's okay. L'chayra. The Tana of the Mishnah says that you have to get rid of it. It's more of a gzeira than anything else. But dama tamtzis. What's dama tamtzis? We're supposed to do zrika with dama nefesh. Dama nefesh is the initial squirts of the blood as long as this animal is alive. When Revaisfish was here, we have a good one of Revaisfish. You all know what he looks like. He said that he could differentiate. A good shayach could see the difference in the color. There's a difference in color. Dama nefesh is when the thing is still alive, it's still moving around. Dama tamtzis is he went to sleep. See that? It's supposed to be a little darker. The dama nefesh is a little darker. So, if you're using dama tamtzis, which is no good, for zrika, and it's mixed in with regular blood, you shavach la'ama, get rid of it. Rabbi Eliezer says, I don't have the gzeira, it's okay. Another halacha, if he didn't go ask the Rav what he should do with this blood, the blood that the Mishnah says he should pour it into the ama, kosher. The whole thing is not pasul midiraisa, it's pasul midirabban, it's a gzeira. So he did it, fine, it works. Omer Rabbi Chiya Rabba Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Leishon Rel Shenaflu Mayim L'Toich Dam. If water spills into the blood, then we have this idea that it's kosher. If it looks like blood, then it's still kosher. That's because you have good blood, and you introduce another liquid to it, and that liquid becomes part of the blood, and memela, it's kosher. Aval nofel dam l'toich mayim rishon bottle. Somebody got rid of my blood overnight. I put it over here, left it over here on this thing. I guess the cleaning lady. So I have to do it with this. This is blood. So we go like this. I pour a little blood into here. You don't really see anything. So now this blood that fell into the water, bevutel. I'm going to have to pour a lot of it. Bottle. Each time I pour, it's bottle. It goes into the water, it becomes bottle. Now, look what just happened. It started becoming red. But the problem is that in order for it to become red, I had to use the blood that was already inside this glass. And when it was in the glass, it was bottle. Eventually, when I get the final amount of blood in there, not wine, this is a bottle of blood. I get the final blood in there, it turned colors and it's a good color. It's too late. You want to use blood that was already bottled before. It's not chayziv in air, it doesn't wake up and become blood. Once it's bottled, it's finished. It's kachim. It's dachui. It's pushed off. So meila, avol nofel dam l'toich mayim. If you have blood that fell into water, rishon bottle. Give me some tissues. Goya.
So the men of Dachli, the Machlokes is only Chayim, not once it's dead. And everybody agrees once it's dead.
You talking about meat? Talking about blood here. Blood of a chai? Well, first of all, dam nefesh is when he's alive. But no, I don't know if it applies to blood. Omer Papa. This idea that we just said applies to kachim, to blood, kachim. But when it comes to a mitzvah, you don't push off a mitzvah. A mitzvah will awaken. So what happened? Here, we have a little video here. Geschmack.
Volg gaat waar zo meteen in de wil gaan, maar schieten.
Each one that goes in becomes bottled. That's what I just showed you. Okay, but when it comes to chaya, let's move this to the side. When it comes to chaya, it's different. Why? A chaya, choyz v'neir, it comes back to life. So here we have a blood that's alive and well. Then it gets tired, goes to sleep. When you put it in, they're sleeping. They're sleeping. Each one is asleep. You put the final one in, they all come back to life. Now you know where to look. You're scared to put your hand on your face. Anyway, so, yeah, it's funny. The Olam last night, they loved it. They enjoyed it. And you, let's take time. Oh, you want me to show it again? I hear. I'll show it again. You said Chayz v'neir. We'll wake you up. Oh, because this is a mitzvah of Kisui Adam. Let me show you what Kisui Adam is. This is Givaldic. Hold on. Oh. Rabbi said, you know what that video that of the animal skydiving is not so far from the Metzias. Just last week in Dubai. Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a little bit more seichel than these people. He went off into the sunset.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's not AI. It's not AI. Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's not. No, it's real. Rabbi Isai, if you all know Rav Weisfish or Rav Weisfish, you'll be very inspired from this video. His voice is a little off, but it's crazy. Manish looks like him. I just want to explain that this animal is like, what, 700 pounds? I don't know how much the thing weighs.
ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו וציוונו על השחיתו. ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו וציוונו על כיסוי דם בעופר.
It really looks like blood and dirt. Yeah, don't believe everything you see. That camel could have been 100% AI, but yeah. What? Yeah. So Kisui Adam is only for a chaya, like a deer, or that chaya that we just saw there, and a bird. A behema doesn't have Kisui Adam. So when each drop of blood becomes bottle, it does become bottle. I'm asking to you, one drop of blood in a bowl of water is going to become bottle. When we get enough blood put together, they come back to life. Choyz v'neir, when it comes to like this color, whatever the color of blood is, then they reawaken. That's the word. Reawaken to perform the mitzvah. You're asking what's the difference? The difference is you cannot push off a mitzvah. Kisui Adam is a mitzvah. There's no dichuy in a mitzvah. There is dichuy by kachim. So if this was not the blood of a chaya for kisui, this is the blood of a behema for zrikas Adam. Zrikas Adam is kachim and it's nitcha.
It's more sensitive. Once it's pushed off, it's back.
Okay. You want to look at it like that? Look at it like that. Kachim is more sensitive. Okay. What time is it? Okay. Omer Shlokish. Hapigul, this is another. Fascinating halacha be'emes. Rabbi say you're going to love this halacha. Hapigul v'anoisar. Let me pull this out. Just make sure this doesn't fall on me in the middle shear. There's cups of water here. The extras. Whoa. There's another one in here that just fell. Bishma. Okay. A little bit. Not so bad. Okay.
Chicken feet, the bag of tricks.
No. This Rabbi Yisai is a kazayis of Noisar. Who's the rest? Oh, I found them. This is a kazayis of Noisar. It says Rish Lakish, a fascinating halacha b'emes. You're not going to believe this. Adim see you about to eat this. They say, listen, if you eat this, you're going to get malchus. They see you about to eat this. If this is Noisar, you're going to get malchus. This is Pigul, you're going to get malchus. And you go ahead and you eat both of them together. Says Rish Lakish, they can't give you malchus. You're going to get a big oynish and shemayim. Hashem will take care of you. But Bezin can't do anything to you. Why? Because when you chew these two, this is what happens in your mouth. It becomes marbleized. There's a mix. And at a certain point, one of these two is going to be more than the other. You can't have exactly a perfect mix in your mouth. One of them is going to create, like this ball right over here. Which one is more, the white or the blue? I don't know. The purple. I don't know. One of them is going to be 51% and the other one is going to be 49%. And the one that's 51% is the roiv. And the roiv is going to be mevatel the miut. Even when it comes to an isser, we're talking about two isurim, one is going to overcome the other. And we don't know which one it is. Memela. Another story. Rabbi said, listen to this story. There's two men over here. Two men. There's a kid that was adopted. And they come and they tell the kid, one of these two men is your dad. We don't know who. Now he has all this built up anger his entire life. He always wanted to meet this guy that gave him up for adoption. As soon as he finds out, he takes out a stick. And he's like, he said, no, he's your father. So he gives him a whack on the head. And then he goes to the next guy. He says, no, he's your father. Whack on the head. Does he get a oynish or not? Could we punish him? Could we give him malchus? The answer is, it's asra safek. Exactly. That's called asra safek. When they said don't hit him, he's your father, they didn't know 100%. They said don't hit him, he's your father, they didn't know 100%. Together, one of them is the father 100%. But you don't get a punishment for that. This, the chewing wasn't. It's the swallowing, putting in the mouth, you don't get an isser. And at one point, one of them overcame the other. Had we known which one, had he said that, the 51% is the noisar, and that's the one that's going to overcome, fine. But they didn't know.
They both isurim. Yeah, it's
both isurim, but they don't. One of them is batal though. One of them is not, and I don't know which one. If I don't know which one is going to be, that's a surah suffix.
You don't know which one you swallowed first?
You don't know which one, yeah.
Which one you have 51% down first?
There's only one answer. You have to eat in one bite.
It says the Gemara, Hapigul v'hanoisar, they take out the word tame because you don't really want three here. You want two. Shibalolon zebozeh b'acholon. He ate them both, mixed up, he chewed them up, and he swallowed. Potter. It's impossible that one shouldn't have the roiv over the other and be mevatel the other. And therefore, they couldn't give him the proper hasra. Shema min otlas. You see three things from here. I thought it was fascinating that if you look around in Shas, you'll be very hard-pressed to find a place where it says Shema mino arba or Shema mino shtayim. It's 90% of the time, I'm not a bucky in Shas, but I don't remember. There's a lot. It was Shemaina. It didn't say Shema mino Shemaina. We had it once, like we had a place. Dar. But I think, right? Ari, Yemaskis Nishma Minot class is very, very, very common. It's interesting. I don't know why. Like the makbin on the three, or just that so happened to be there's three. It's interesting. Shema Minot class. Shema Minot Yisur Mevatim says this whole idea is because this 51% overcomes the 49%, and the roiv is mevatel even in Isser. You say bittul beroiv not just in mitzvahs, in Zrikas Adam, in Kisui Adam. You say roiv even when you have two Yisur, you say one of them goes away because it's the miut. Ushma Minot Noisin Tam Beroiv Lav Deiraisa. There's two things that we always discuss. That's roiv, but there's also what it tastes like, which is echad b'shishim. Shishim, what's shishim? Batul b'shishim. That there's no flavor, because flavor, even 1 in 60, 1/60th will ruin it. So, we're going to get there in a second. Over here, you have two different things. You have a noisar and a pigol. Can't you taste the noisar? Can't you taste the pigol? Why can't you taste a little bit of the noisar? And if you could taste a little bit of the noisar, even though the pigol is 51%, the noise is 49%, but I could taste the 49%. I taste it, that's it. It should become usher. What's the obvious answer to that? That's what Ariel said. What's the obvious answer? Don't say Ariel. What's the obvious answer? We're talking about pigol and noisar. They taste the same exact. They're both pieces of meat. So you can't taste it. We're talking about a situation where you can't taste it, then you go with the majority. Ushmamino Hasra Safek Lo Yishma Hasra. This whole halacha only goes according to Rish Lakish, and Rish Lakish himself always says throughout Shas that Hasra Safek Lo Yishma Hasra, that if I don't know what I'm warning you about, I don't know which Isra you're about to do, that's not a Hasra. Masiv Rava. Also Isa min Chitim umin Oiriz. Here you have a guy who has a gluten issue. He only eats gluten free. So he's making matzah maybe for Pesach. So he makes a rice cake, but he wants to be yoytze the mitzvah, so he throws in a little flour at the end. But he wants it to be mainly rice. So he makes a whole concoction of wheat and rice, flour and rice. If it tastes a little bit like challah, like I say challah, I mean like bread, then you're chayiv in challah. Then you'd have to be mafresh challah. You're not mafresh challah on rice cakes. Even though the majority of this thing is rice. Just heard a very, very quick that a guy was making cholent in his house and he was selling cholent out of his house. And somebody says, you have a hechsher? He says, no. So the guy says, okay, are you mafresh challah on the kishka? He says, mafresh challah on the kishka. What are you talking about? He says, no, if you do a large quantity of kishka, there's a chi of challah. I never thought about it. I have to say.
Also, when someone does a lot of cake.
A lot of cake, okay. Yeah. It's things that maybe people don't know. We had in Bet Shemesh a crazy story with a caterer. She didn't know, what was the halacha she didn't know? Challah. She didn't know challah. She was new to the, she's doing a lot of, she was very good, but she didn't know that there's a chi of challah. So over here, how come the majority of the chita doesn't come and the majority of the rice outdo the wheat, the flour, and say that you're potter from challah? Says the Gemara, you're right, midrabanan. The only chi of challah that we have here is the rabbanan. You're really not chayiv in challah because the majority is right. Says the Gemara, I thought you were going to tell me that, but think about the end of it. It says, this is a perfect matzah. By the way, I just noticed here in Rashi, Daf Yomi Zevachim Daf, it says Shebalalim Zebazed. There's a dalet over there, and it says over here on the side, Mekanu Pirush Rashi. So if anybody's worried that until now I was quoting from Rashi Ksav, and that the Rashi Rashi took a 10 daf break basically. He came back. He made a comeback now. So just in case you're worried, from here on out is the real Rashi. So how come, if it's only the Rabbanan, how come you could use it for matzah? You take a lot of rice and a little bit of flour and you're eating matzah on Pesach and you're yoytze. Hello, I feel bad for those gluten-free people on Pesach. They mamish, they get. I gotta speak to our guy. Like there's the price for gluten-free is like ki'ilu, like they do it by themselves. Like they pull out the gluten. That's crazy. You do gluten-free matzah at all? What? Oh, 1 minute. Let's just do the teretz. Says the Gemara, the answer that Ariel said before. Elo min b'sheini minoi b'taima, min b'minoi beruba. Rish Lakish's halacha that you take these two things and you put it in your mouth, and one is mevatel the other, they taste the same. They're both pieces of meat. One is a noisar, one is a pigol. But they're both two types of meat, and therefore I use the roiv, which is a kula. Like a little bit more is mevatel it. But when you have two types of food, you have wheat and rice, then it goes by flavor, which is much, much less. The flavor destroys it. It's like a little, just a hint of wheat, yichayv and challah. Turning to the daf, Adar Global Turnkey Financial Services for hassle-free real estate purchase in Israel. Stephen Schwartz, Lynn Shmois, my parents, Million J. Schwartz, former owners of Arnes Deli in Lakewood, New Jersey. Shama should have an aliyah. Says the Gemara. Question. This is an important question. This is basically the question of until the end of the Amud. We have two options. When you have food, you have two options to be mevatel it. How do you nullify food? Either with the majority, 51% versus 49%, could nullify, one could overcome the other. Like in this case, the pigol overcomes the noisar because one is 51%, one is 49%. Or by taste. As the Gemara, a bomb question. If they look the same or taste the same, they taste the same, two pieces of meat. So in this case, you don't go by taste because they taste the same. So what do you go by? Majority. So I need a tremendous amount to overcome this thing. But if I would go by taste, what would it be? A tiny amount. What did we say in the Mishnah? Think about this. This idea of royin. What does royin mean? If I have red wine and red blood, I don't know what to do. They're the same. So what do? I pretend. I pretend that one of them is not wine. I pretend the wine is water. And then I start going, if it was water, what's the halach in water? How much water do I need to nullify this blood? So when you have two pieces of meat, ask the Gemara, why don't they use the same concept, royin? Pretend one piece of meat is rice, a different food, and how much of that food do I need to taste it? Why am I going with majority? Do a pretend. Royin means let's pretend. In our Mishnah, we see the idea of pretending. And it works with coloration, and it works with flavor. It works with everything. When I have two items that are similar, red blood and red wine, what do? I can't differentiate. You know what I do? I pretend one of them is a different item. And if it's a different item, we know what the shear is. It's to dilute the blood, however much it takes to dilute. You're right, red wine is not going to be able to dilute the blood even 1,000,000 gallons because they're both the same color. Pretend one of them is different. So now when it comes to flavor, let's do the same exact thing. I have a piece of steak that's 1 pound. I have another piece of steak that's 1 pound, and they weigh and they taste the same. Take the steak, take one steak out. Instead of saying, oh, you need a majority, which is nothing, which is a lot, I'm sorry, you have to do a lot. Let's pretend one steak is not steak. What is it? Cucumbers. Chocolate. One steak is not steak. And let's see how much do you need of another item, such as cucumbers, to be able to tell the taste in that thing. When my wife makes food, she puts in 1 teaspoon of this and you taste it already. So a small amount is enough. You don't need a roiv. A small amount, whatever it is in another food. Why don't we say roiv? And the Gemara brings our Mishnah as a raya. Why are you treating two pieces of the same food, because they have the same flavor, differently than two pieces that are different flavors? How come they have different shiurim? Every time you come to a situation where they're the same, pretend one of them is not the same. And we see it in our Mishnah. It's not necessarily biyayin if blood got mixed with wine. We pretend, and we pretend one of them is a different thing. My love. So when we learned the Mishnah, we all thought, and I asked the Israelis because they speak Hebrew and it comes easy for them. I said, what's pshat in the Mishnah? They thought, like we explained, what's the roy noisai? We take the wine and we pretend the wine is like water. No, says the Gemara, you didn't understand Pshat. Lo, Royin Oisei Ladam Kilu Mayim. The blood, this is what we pretend is water. In other words, we go by Roiv on the blood, not on the wine. Yachi, so says the Gemara. So why is the Mishnah even introduce the idea of Royin? Pretend. Don't pretend anything. It's called, what is that called? Batal mibayile. Yachi, batal. We're talking about a Roiv here, so it's batal, not Royin. You have a situation. You have a bucket. Pretend this is a bucket right over here. And in the bucket, this bucket is tamei. I want to be toivel this bucket in the mikvah. And in the bucket I have white wine. Rather have white. There was white wine in the kitchen. I don't know why. White wine. White wine looks like water. And it's in this kli. And I want to dunk this kli in a mikvah. What do? Says Rabbi Yehuda, the idea of Royin. What does Royin mean? I pretend. Royin ilu yayin. By the way, what's the problem if there's white wine in this glass and I'm putting in the mikvah? What's the problem halachically? So what is that called? Chatzitza. It's called chatzitza. A problem of chatzitza. That's the rest of the sugya actually, if we're going to get to it. So says Rabbi Yehuda, Royin ilu yayin adaim. This white wine turns into red wine. Same trick that we do before. If it was red wine and it is diluted so that it looks like water, then the mikvah would be kosher. V'imlav pasel. So here you see that Rabbi Yehuda does do Royin. Says the Gemara, Tanoihi. It's actually machlokes Tanoim whether we use the idea of Royin, do we pretend. You have a bucket that has inside a white wine or milk. Here, he did a little, we don't really have time for this, but he has white wine in there, milk in there. Over here it says what? We don't do Royin, we do a Roiv. In other words, if, in this case, Roiv is another liquid, so it wouldn't be good because most of this is full. But if it was below the half point, then it would be okay. Do we do Roiv or do we do Royin? And Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.